What they do? What they do? It's your boy K Bet, aka K Trades. We back with our little Sunday night recap or Sunday afternoon. So futures just opened up and we are down to 705.25. Right. So we had a little nothing too crazy, a little gap down. So we're about right here on 705.25. Just drew this here just to give you guys kind of a visual representation of where we're at so we can get into these charts real quick. So going into it, man, let's get straight into it. So obviously last week, really the last 3 weeks, we just been going dang near vertical, right? Just straight up right into these channels, right? Just going up, right? So but now we have smacked right into our upper resistance, right? So this is the last time we've really been here was around February. So around February, we just kept tapping. Fell all the way back down, bounced back up, and now we are right back at the top. So knowing that, right, because this is upper resistance, we don't know if right we're going to continue or if we're going to get this alleged pullback that everybody's asking for. So with that being said, obviously, you don't want to jump the gun. So um, just make sure that going into tomorrow, if we do have this gap down, make sure that you're being patient at open because obviously, anything we've seen gap downs recover, right, and automatically just squeeze right back up. So make sure you're being patient. Don't just assume just because we gap down, we're going to get this huge pullback that everybody wants, right? Everybody wants this 10-20% pullback and all this stuff. What the hell? Uh, Saw somebody put a card in the back of their bicycle. We used to do that as kids. But yeah, so with that being said, like I said, you don't want to just jump the gun and automatically think, oh, it's over and blah blah blah. People are already freaking out and stuff like that. Stop freaking out. If you stop going so heavy, you'll stop freaking out. So like I said, with that being said, let's get straight into it. So let's see what happens if we hold this gap down, right? Let's say we gap down anywhere below this, right? Anything below 708. So because, like I said, we're in this overall resistance right up here, and then we have the resistance trend line as well, right? Going all the way back to March, right? Yeah, around March, really February to March. So right here around this trend line, right? So we've smacked into both. So we have a double confluence of overhead resistance. So with that being said, obviously we're going to be looking for some sort of pullback, but doesn't mean it has to happen. Obviously everybody's been looking for this pullback for every day for a week now, right? But they keep blindly shorting, so you don't want to blindly short. So what do you want to do? We gap down, wait to see if we can come up and close this gap or go into any of these overhead zones, whether it be 708, 75 to 710 to 711. So anywhere in these zones. So if we get this, sort of initial pop at open, obviously don't chase it, right? See if we come up. If we start to reject, you might be able to get that pull back down into the lower zones. But if we do reclaim previous day's close, right, it's always going to be our reporting level when we have gaps. If we gap down or if we gap up, it's going to be very important levels. So if we do reclaim that previous day's close, we can obviously squeeze back up, right, and our overhead targets would be Friday's high all the way up until 715, right, possibly even higher than that. So, and we're in price discovery mode. So anytime we're in price discovery, obviously you have to be more patient with it. Not to say you can't play it. Obviously, we've been catching these bangers every day this week, but you still have to be more patient as far as going heavy and finding your entry and stuff like that. So that's going to be your bull case. Like I said, if we do reclaim previous day's close, right? We do reclaim previous day's close. Boom, breakout, retest, target the previous highs. Continue past that, possibly 715. Now, if all of that doesn't happen, right? Let's say you come up here and we start to fail. You're going to have to watch these zones, the 706.75 to 705.50 zones, right? You lose that. Remember, we still have another trend line right here. So you're going to have to make sure if we break down, retest, right, we continue down. All of this has not been tested in regular hours, in normal trading hours. So, right, and we have this gap as well, all the way down to 701. So if we do start to reject those upper levels, watch for that possible pullback. You might finally get maybe a red day, right? Obviously, we don't know yet. But if we do that, watch those levels. Those are going to be your best buy zones. Now, if we start to lose those and we slice through, again, watch for the rejection, 702, boom, right? Breakdown, retest, play it level to level to level to level. Buy time, leave runners, to maximize your profit. So with that being said, obviously, it's going to be, pretty simple now that we finally have a gap down, right? We'll have more levels to play with. It's always harder playing the gap ups because we don't know where we're going. We're at all-time highs. So with that being said, we already have our levels right marked, and I'm gonna go live. Like I said, I'm gonna go live Monday as well. So don't fret, don't trip too much. But yeah, keep it as simple as you can. Let's check out the VIX. All right, so VIX is pretty much the same thing, right? We're below the 5 and the 200, but that doesn't mean that we can't get a pop over that, right? Because 200 normally is support, but if we turn it into resistance, obviously we can continue back up. But with with all these wicks, with all that being said, the 5 possibly crossing back below, it's going to be very interesting tomorrow and see, especially with all the Iran news, the Strait of Hormuz and all that stuff. So we're going to be keep an eye on that when that opens. Like I said, we'll it'll be easier to see it once it's live, but this is just to get those levels beforehand. Um, but yeah, see, daily, we've kind of turned off all these indicators, right? Boom, resistance, 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 resistance. Now we've came back into it. So of course, initially we're gonna look for resistance, but like I said, we do have all these gaps below. Doesn't mean they have to fill. We've gapped up and gone, gapped up, closed the gap, gapped up, closed the gap, gapped up again, right? So if we do get a gap below the whole daily, then we possibly could fill that gap. But if we're gapped inside the candle, you're gonna have to be more patient, right? You're gonna have to mark the candles open, candles closed, candles highs, and we'll have to play it inside of here until, or you don't, right? You don't have to. You don't have to play it inside. You could literally not play at all. It's literally your choice. It's your money, right? So don't get too caught up in the hype and the fear mongering and the we finally, all the bears are finally like, oh, we finally are correct. We got this gap down. Doesn't mean anything, right? Till the market opens, it doesn't mean anything. So be very careful of Friday's open, Friday's close, Friday's high. If we open inside this range, it can come up here first and fail. It can come down here first and pop. It can come down here and continue, right? Or it can go up here. We don't know. So just have those levels in mind. Previous days close, previous days highs. As of right now, we're right here, 705.50-ish. Yeah, right, 705, right around here. So this is where we are. I drew this here just for, like I said, for visual representation. So we're gonna keep it simple. Yeah, not really too much. I'm glad we finally got this pullback or gap down at open. Just so we can finally get some good long-term entries, right? It's harder to go long and heavy when you are gapping up, gapping up, gapping up every single day. So hopefully, hopefully we do get a little gap close or we open down here, maybe reject Friday's open, right? That's possible. If we open below, reject Friday's open, maybe fill the gap, maybe even come back in, right? Support. So we have our levels 700, 702, right? 706.60. Friday's open, Friday's close, Friday's high, right? So mark those levels, keep them simple. And yeah, we're gonna go live tomorrow. So like, subscribe. We're gonna keep it going, man. Keep the win streak going. And yeah, I'll see y'all.